Well, that was a long time ago.
What's her freaking name?
I don't know, and I don't have my phone,
Hold
so
on.
I can't look it up.
Flavor Flav woman.
Yeah. It'll come up when you just do Flavor Flav, I'm sure.
Yeah. Flavor Flav woman.
When you say her name, it'll probably sound familiar.
I know. Well, Tiffany Pollard.
There you go.
Tiffany Pollard died?
Doesn't it say?
Well, it doesn't say. Tiffany Pollard.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Are you sure we have
Tiffany
the right?
Pollard. She's still alive, girl.
Well, someone died. Are you sure?
know. Yeah, she's alive.
All
3
right.
days ago. She's streaming College Hill Celebrity Edition, whatever that is.
Well,
She's
what
on
the
BET.
hell? Something I heard was like, oh, I swore it was her.
Well, I mean, there absolutely may be some people who
okay.
were on
Well,
that
then
show
maybe
that
it was
passed,
no, but
doubt.
it wasn't.
Well, I'm so glad Tiffany Pollard's alive. I love her.
Well, is he alive? Did he
Flavor
die?
Flav?
Maybe that's what I heard.
Flavor Flav dead? Question mark? It was a hoax.
Oh no.
Flavor Flav is not dead as of Friday, May 12th. So
Okay,
this
so
is-
maybe I did hear something.
Yes, that it was a hoax.
Sometimes I'll hear like a little flit of something and I don't read it, the whole thing. I'll just like briefly see it on a...
He was almost crushed to death by a boulder in 2021, but it says he's alive.
Okay.
So
Maybe I heard the host, the
hoax.
The hoax.
Well, that makes
The
sense.
host. Maybe
That
I heard
makes
the
sense.
host.
I
Yeah.
mean, you never know. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 617. Oh my God.
That was a lot.
I'm sure that you heard about this, Stephanie, but Aerosmith is doing their farewell tour.
I did. Steven Tyler just made a TikTok account.
The Peace Out tour is coming, and it's coming close to us. And I think for the sake of our friendship, we have to go.
We should go.
Stephanie.
Shockingly, Aerosmith is one of my favorite bands.
Me
I definitely
too.
love them, but they are not my favorite band. Like if I was on my deathbed and someone was like, okay, what's concert? It wouldn't be them, but I have seen them more than any other band that I've ever seen
Isn't
live.
that funny?
It's weird.
I've seen them.
I think it's just happenstance. Like
I think I've only seen them twice.
I've seen them like 7 times.
What? I thought Tom Petty was the top.
I've seen him like 3 times.
I do
But
remember.
like I said, the only reason why I've seen Aerosmith so many times was it was kind of like opportunity.
Yeah.
Like somebody either got tickets or we had the ability to get some amazing tickets or they happened to be in town when we were traveling one time. You know, it wasn't purposeful necessarily.
I don't think I'm hallucinating when I say this, but did you and I go see Tom Petty and the Black Crowes? Did we or did we not do this? Because here's what I remember. I remember we wanted to see the Black Crowes and they were opening for Tom Petty.
Yeah.
So we went and we had really, really good seats. I don't even remember where it was, but we were sitting and we were close enough that we were able to enjoy the Black Crowes. And this was when they were at the top of their game. Like everybody.
I feel like we both went to this concert, but not together.
And then Tom Petty came out and he did a couple of songs and you and I looked at each other and you said, I have seen him so many times. I do not care.
Maybe
and we
it
left.
was. Maybe it was us.
And we left.
Yeah, because there's this amphitheater that's outside of Sacramento by
Wheatland.
maybe 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yes.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's not my favorite venue.
I hate that venue.
Okay, thank you.
It's
I
awful.
legit hate it. It's horrible.
We Daryl and I have always said, even if Prince came back from the dead and went to Wheatland, we'd never go.
That'd probably be the only circumstance
go.
for which I would go.
Right.
Because I didn't get the opportunity to see him
Right,
when he
that's
was
true.
alive.
Right,
but
right, right.
yes,
Yes.
you're right. We do hate that venue.
But I think that you literally said, Jamie, I've seen Tom Petty
I'm
so
pretty
many
sure
times.
you're right.
And we left.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was fine with it personally.
I agree.
But because we really only want to see the Black Crowes.
And not only that, but it's exhausting going to that. And when you go to a venue where it's so difficult to get in
And out.
that you just it really ruins the whole experience for you. So.
It's a stress that sits in the back of your brain the whole time.
Well, you're just tired.
there.
By the time you get to your seat and everything, you're like, oh, God,
You're
like
hot,
it's so hard.
sweaty.
Yeah.
The beers are $15 a pop.
Yeah, and they're warm.
Even back in the 90s, they were outrageously priced.
And when you walk back to your car, it's like 2 miles.
oh, God.
And you're just like over it.
And then at nighttime when you're walking back, you're freezing because you're wearing your little slutty outfit.
And then you get to sit in a one-way out at parking lot with, 10,000 people trying to get out of the same space.
For hours.
It's awful.
And they don't want you staying. They don't want you
No,
tailgating.
hell no. And there's cops everywhere, and they know
Ugh.
everybody's drunk, and you're like, oh, God, please don't let me be the one they decide to fuck with tonight.
Right?
I mean.
And weed wasn't a big thing back in the late 90s.
No,
but
I'm very
still.
curious to know what concerts are like, outdoor concerts are like these days, especially in California, because it's so incredibly legal here. Like, does everybody just smoke weed all over, no matter where you are?
Well, like, for example, next weekend, Daryl and I will be at Bottle Rock.
Right.
And so when we go to Bottle Rock, it's very free flowing. Like, it's very free flowing.
Well,
Daryl and I brought our own weed last year, and no one gave a shit.
I didn't even know you guys smoked weed.
Daryl is so straight that
So are you, by the way.
No,
actually, you're not straight, but you've never been a big weed smoker.
I'm not a big weed smoker because I literally turn into the most judgmental cat you've ever seen. Sorry, you're drinking. But I sit there, I'm judgy, I stare, I'm like, ugh, the whole time.
You can't hide anything once you're...
The only time was, now weed has changed significantly since you and I were actually getting high.
Oh, God, yes.
My daughter said, I know this is a really weird request, and this was last Mother's Day, I believe. She goes, would you get high with me? And I said, 100%, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we sat in the backyard because Daryl was gone. And I said, let's do it before he gets home because I don't want any judgment. He's like, you're the mother, you're supposed to be.
I know.
Whatever. And I'm like, she's old enough, it's fine. And so
she's a grown-ass adult.
And she's a stoner.
And by the way, she's going to do it whether I'm here or not. So why am I pretending like this isn't happening?
And her level of excitement that I was willing to get high with her, she was giddy. And I'm like, let's do it. Wow, why not? Why not? Well, Stephanie, I have never seen purple waves in my backyard before. I saw them.
Are you sure it was just weed?
It was. It was. And I didn't even do that much. And I was like, I'm seeing psychedelic colors. She's like, it means it's working. And I was like,
so funny.
Jesus. But weed has changed. So when last year we went to Bottle Rock, we had a couple of joints.
Yeah.
And I'm smoking them like a cigarette. And Daryl's like, how do I do this? And
I actually would like to get stoned with Daryl.
Me too.
Specifically because I didn't know he was so square.
He's dude.
Because
so
the man can drink.
Yeah, that's his thing. But anything else,
well, it's all our thing. But
he's like, I've never done drugs. I'm like, well, I haven't done
drug.
I've never done drugs either.
I think it's funny when people say that. They're talking about weed. They're like, I don't do drugs. I'm like, really, weed's a drug.
Really not a drug.
I mean, it is though. If you're of a certain age.
First of all, the federal government considers it a drug, which is bullshit.
Well, not for much longer, but yes.
Oh, God, Stephanie, please, from your lips to God's ears, let's make it happen.
We all want that.
Anyway,
yeah, I don't know why we went on that tyrant.
Hold on, I was going to say something about something.
We were talking about getting high with your children.
I know.
Or your child.
I don't know why we're talking about weed, but anyway, yeah.
Well, we were talking about Tom Petty and like how my curiosity is because I haven't been to a concert in a really long time.
How is it now?
And now that California's been legal for quite some time.
Bottle Rock. Everybody smokes.
Yeah.
No biggie. I mean, you wouldn't smoke in front of a cop, but I mean,
or a child, I would hope.
There's no children at Bottle Rock.
Well, you know what? There's always idiots who bring their
Well, you're right. You know what? There are some, but they aren't where we were. I
hope not.
No.
See, I mean, I've made that mistake of bringing my child, not to a concert, but just to a place where
adulty.
And then all of a sudden I'm like,
too.
this was stupid. Like, why am I doing this?
Stephanie, I have anxiety. I know you're like me. I have anxiety at night about some of the decisions I made when my children were little. And I'm like, first of all, I'm so lucky that my child was not killed, kidnapped, or harmed in any way.
Right.
I remember I did something really, to me, it was stupid.
Yeah.
I went somewhere where there were some kids, but he was a little.
Too little.
And I put myself in a position where I could not leave whenever I wanted.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. And this is pre-Uber.
Yeah.
So.
We love Uber now, don't we?
Oh God, I would have died for an Uber.
You can escape from anywhere.
Oh my God. I would have loved an Uber back then. So I had him. I literally begged these two girls to take me back to my truck, which was on the other side of the river. And I said, please, I will give you money, anything. Can you please take me to my truck? And I had my son with me. And he's like 2.
Oh God.
And so and it's like 11 o'clock at night.
And you're like, this was such a fucking stupid thing to do.
Bar on the river.
You're like, what am I doing?
I was a young idiot. And
we've all done
they
it.
They said, sure. And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm holding him in the backseat. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if they're drunk. Just get me to
as
my car.
long as they can make it to the car.
Got to my car. I put him in his car seat. It's almost midnight. And I looked at him. He doesn't know what I'm saying. I looked at him and I said, Tyler, I will never do this to you again. For the rest of my life, this will never happen to you again.
It only takes once.
It never happened again.
Yeah.
I protected him like anything.
Jamie, and to
we've
this
all done
day,
it.
and
We've
to
all
this
done
day,
it.
your child is 31. You're thinking about it.
Stephanie, I want to kill myself.
Exactly.
I'm like,
We've
what
all
a
done
terrible
it. Jamie,
person.
I recounted a story to a friend the other day at work. I was pregnant with my daughter. She wasn't even out of the womb.
Yes.
And I have such immense guilt for taking her to a Scorpions concert.
I went to Van Halen with Tyler.
Well, I was 8 months pregnant.
I was only 5, but yeah.
I was hugely pregnant.
Oh, boy.
And I was with her dad, thankfully, because we both had the same epiphany at basically the same time.
Sure.
Because, granted, I was 18 and he was like 20. We were babies. Stupid idiots.
So you think that you can continue living your life.
You just don't realize that, yeah. And so she was swimming around in my stomach going crazy.
She's like, I hate it here.
Because it was so loud.
Aww.
And we literally got like maybe 1 or 2 songs into it, and I was like, the baby is like going crazy, and we were both kind of looked at it was like, what the fuck are we doing?
This is so dumb.
Yeah. We literally left and we did not stay for the concert. But to this day, I feel guilt about that. She wasn't even born.
You know what? It's true.
It was the last time.
I literally could rip my skin off
with
when
the guilt.
I think about some of the shit
Same.
I did. Luckily, they've all survived. They're happy and healthy.
Did.
Whatever.
They did. I've asked her so many times if she was ever molested, touched, felt weird, or she's like, "Mom, no, I've told you." I'm like, "Are you sure? You don't have any repressed memories?"
I did the same thing with Tyler.
I mean, I have asked her so many times.
I said, Tyler,
because I just can't believe that we got away with it.
Right? But we were so protective, Stephanie.
I hope so.
We were so protective.
I hope I was.
And we're awfully scary.
That's true.
We are awfully scary children.
That's true. But I mean, I just feel
when
like
it comes to our kids,
I made so many mistakes that now I wouldn't do.
Right.
That I'm thinking like, what other things was I naive about?
Same. I remember one time, this was before I was a mom, and I did something really stupid, and some guy that I actually ended up dating for a few months, he's like, you realize you could have been killed by those people. They could have been murderers. And I'm like, but they weren't. He goes, you realize how dumb you're being. This is how women die. And I was like, what? God, I was so fucking fearless.
Oh my God.
Idiot.
Dumb.
Okay, pop culture. Let's talk a little pop culture.
Let's.
So
my favorite subject.
Daryl and I, really quick, Daryl and I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on Friday night. So good. Okay. So dark. And I was telling Mackenzie.
Just your thing.
I was telling no.
You love dark.
I do, but this was different. Kenzie asked me, she goes, how was Guardians the next morning? She said, how was Guardians? And I said, it's really, really dark. And I said, and I almost got up and left because I have a thing about suffering and people hurting people that like torture and stuff. I think everybody should not like torture. Like everybody should feel uncomfortable when they see it.
For sure.
But I don't think that's the case. But this is animal harm. And
I can't with
there's
that.
so much animal cruelty. And I said, at some point I said, I don't think I can sit through this if this doesn't change. Right. Because there's so much animal cruelty in the first hour. Oh. Luckily you don't see, but you see the after effects. And to me, I'm like, I can't take it. These are baby animals that they're harming. And it's like the ultimate evil. And then towards the end, although they don't show it, he starts hurting children. Okay. So
who directed this movie?
Well, it's the bad guy in the movie. And he apparently, according to those who know the comics and everything, this guy is literally considered the worst villain ever. And so I'm like, okay, well, this makes sense.
It has to be then the worst of the worst as far as his...
It ends well.
His atrocities, yes.
And it definitely ends well. And everybody's rescued and saved. He doesn't hurt anybody anymore. But getting through and finding the backstory of Rocket Raccoon was difficult. Oh. But it was so good. I mean, I wept 3 times.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. My daughter's like, I don't think I can watch it. I'm like, I don't know if you can either. If you have a thing about animal cruelty, it's going to be really hard to get through.
Well, we all do in our family.
Ooh,
so,
it's rough.
I mean, I think
got through it.
That makes us healthy,
actually. I almost wasn't satisfied because he only died.
Yeah, you
know
needed
what I'm
him to like
saying?
suffer.
I needed him to suffer a little bit more.
I feel you.
He just didn't suffer enough for my taste.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I'm satisfied, but not.
Yeah.
Anyway, 5 stars. It's a good movie.
Good. I'm so glad.
Struggle bus, though. It was rough. I'm also I just started Queen Charlotte on Netflix. Now, were you a big Bridgerton person? Did you watch Bridgerton?
I watched season 1 only.
Okay, did you like it?
I loved it.
Okay, Queen Charlotte, the Queen.
Yeah.
They're doing a backstory on her on Netflix.
Oh, good.
It just came out like a week ago as of this recording. And there's only 6 episodes.
Okay.
I'm only 2 in. Just loving it. I'm obsessed. I want to binge it so bad, but I just don't have the time.
Well, I do have some time because I finally have gotten through most everything. All the sports things that I've been watching have kind of fizzled out.
Did you get through the Queen?
Yeah. You know what? I still have a season left.
I have not gotten through the last season yet.
I have gotten through, I mean, we have had so many, I don't know what it is, but I have really been embracing sports lately, specifically baseball and basketball. And we're going through the NBA championships right now. So I've been obsessed with that.
Lakers won. They beat the Warriors.
Lakers won. So now I'm not interested anymore.
The Warriors are done.
Right. Because the Warriors and the Kings are no longer apart. So now it's just a matter of getting to the very end and
the
seeing
final.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm not really, and I'm watching baseball, but our team isn't doing that great right now. So we're Giants fans.
Sure.
So I'm struggling with that. So now I have time.
What else can I watch?
To devote to things that I've really been wanting to watch.
Well,
and that is one of them. We love all things royal.
I do. Yes. And you'll love Queen Charlotte. It's beautifully made. Everybody's good looking. So of course it's great.
So speaking of, did you watch the coronation at all?
So we'll talk about this a little bit during my ugly and awkward moment. I don't know if you have one or not, but I definitely do. We were in Healdsburg, which is up in the Northern California, Napa Valley area. And we had gotten home.
Jamie and Daryl in Napa? Weird.
We were there celebrating a family member's birthday. They wanted to go there for the weekend, so we went. So we were in our hotel room. It was really, really late. It was like 2 a.m. I can't sleep yet, shockingly. And I'm watching.
Might be all the alcohol flowing through your veins.
Right? And I'm watching they're preparing for the coronation to begin. Yes. Everybody's showing up. Everybody's, getting ready to seat it. I could not stay up for it. So I ended up crashing.
I got so lucky.
I saw all of the after effects. Yeah. And I was a little bummed because I kind of wanted to see if anything happened. I heard Katy Perry got lost. I heard she almost fell.
She couldn't find her seat. That wasn't actually, I was not necessarily enamored with the American visitors of
because nobody wanted to fucking come.
I didn't give a shit. Yeah. No, I was really interested in the Harry thing. And, I love watching Prince William and his family on anything because they are so normal for being as royal and as rich as they are.
As close to... Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm always watching them, and that does not disappoint.
Never.
But honestly, my insomnia, the way it works is I am almost faithfully awake at that time of night. I knew it was the coronation, but what I had forgotten was the time change.
Right.
So here it is 2 a.m. and I'm on TikTok and everything was live.
You're like, what's going on?
I'm like, oh my God, the coronation is literally right now.
I can watch it.
I was. So it was a blessing and a curse because I was awake, but it was so long.
It's such a long ass thing.
Oh my God.
Although most people are saying that Camilla and Charles look like the cover of a Party City costume.
Honest to God. And there's been so many funny little memes that have been going around about her. They're like, oh yeah, for all you side pieces, just be patient.
Hey,
and I'm
this
like,
could be you one day.
She probably never in a million years thought.
You know what I really hate is I hate that the protocol of him being required to marry Diana is why this is a thing. Because if you had been allowed to marry someone who was divorced, and because they loved each other, even though she would have been divorced, that's against the rules, apparently. Yeah. Well, which is too bad because, who can?
And the backstory is she married somebody that she was forced to marry.
Exactly.
Because of this whole, even though she wasn't considered royal enough, good enough, let's not get it twisted. The woman came from wealth and money and power. Yes. She just wasn't powerful enough to marry the future king of England.
Right.
Right? Because that's the epitome of power.
Exactly. And it's too bad because had they just allowed nature to take its course,
she would have been just fine as the future queen.
And now when you look at her, she's so awkward.
And Diana would be alive and maybe married to someone that she loved.
And with a gaggle of kids, her own little William and Harry's.
Whatever.
Right.
She wouldn't have had to go through the heartache that she did for
Agreed.
nothing.
And all of us, we can blame on the monarchy, really.
Agreed.
The protocol of the monarchy, whoever that is.
It's the institution.
It's
not a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what sucks about this whole cobbling together this second marriage is that she's very awkward.
Yeah.
She's very clunky.
She knows.
She's not graceful.
No.
She's very like, and it's like, it's not really her fault because she was not prepped for her whole life.
No, she wasn't.
And I'm not giving her, I mean, I think she's a bitch in some ways.
I don't appreciate the willingness to participate in an adulterous affair.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that it was causing extreme pain to somebody else.
And children and families.
And family. And she could have walked away and said, I can't do this.
Yeah, she should have, right?
Like, I know she loved Charles, but
I do too.
And I get that. And I do get
it.
that. But at the same time, you do have to take responsibility as a woman, knowing your accountability and your part in that.
100%. But now she's getting her cake and eating it too.
Yeah,
so congratulations,
for
side piece.
For
you
what?
did it.
However many years though? I mean, everybody's always like, oh yeah, okay.
They're in their 70s.
He's ancient.
Yeah. So enjoy your 5 years of being a queen.
So, by the way, the Prince William and Kate and their children are just the best, and I can't wait for them to be to be king and queen.
It's gonna be a reckoning,
right?
It's gonna be amazing.
I mean, Kate. I swear to God, there is not a person that I wouldn't wish to be more than her. I'm like,
really?
She's so perfect.
She seems perfect, but I will say this:
I don't mean perfect in the sense of like flawless, and she's not without.
She's a human.
She's human, but she's pretty and she's funny and she's smart.
She's been prepping for this moment her whole life.
Kind of, but she's also kind of normal.
She does well. She parents her children, which is unusual for royals.
Yeah,
and you could tell.
Yeah.
So I'm
and I think she really loves her husband.
I
heard the rumors about the cheating thing.
Yes.
I don't know how much of that I believe, but
you know what? I don't believe anything that comes out of anyone anymore. Yeah. I don't even. Nobody knows anything anymore. Just honestly. Like, for example, apparently, according to Jamie Foxx's daughter, he's been home for weeks, but everybody else is saying prayers, prayers, prayers. He's still in the hospital, and I'm like, well, which is true? It doesn't even matter.
And why is he in the hospital?
They won't discuss.
I know
they won't discuss it, and I'm like, well. I mean, it could be, who knows? I mean, it's obviously not a long-term thing like cancer. It's probably, it could be heart, stroke, diabetes. Nobody knows.
It could be drug addiction. It could be anything.
The only reason that, and this is so silly.
And I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it could literally be anything.
You're right. The only thing I'm saying is that I didn't see Katie Holmes rushing to any hospitals.
No. And they broke up.
They did break up, but that doesn't mean they were together for a
Look at
really
Khloe
long
Kardashian.
time.
She can't stay away from Tristan Thompson.
You know what?
And now he's with the Lakers. Have you watched? I know we hate the Kardashians, but whatever.
I don't hate the Kardashians.
So all week, the Lakers have been playing the Warriors in the NBA championships.
They're there with signs.
With fucking signs. And their Gucci outfits.
I can't.
And Kim is just with her, 25 carat and choker. I honestly, and I'm like, really? I'm like, fuck. God.
Talk about out of touch.
Tristan Thompson is such a douchebag.
What are we doing? Khloe, get more therapy.
Khloe.
I know what she's doing, but get more. Just get more.
Either that or just, I don't know.
I can't imagine. Let me tell you something. I am not embarrassed to say that I have multiple baby daddies.
Okay.
There is no way in fucking hell I would do any of this with
people
any
are like,
of them.
You know what's funny is when you read the comments, everybody's like, shut up. You guys know you've all taken back your baby daddies.
No, I have not.
And I'm like, no.
No,
I haven't.
I have a little bit of a standard.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm like,
I have some self-esteem.
And I'm just, no.
Does she need she needs an Ugg.
I don't.
She needs someone like us.
But she has an Ugg. She has Malika.
Malika clearly isn't doing her job then.
Well, Malika's too busy getting rich off of her.
Then that's not working. We need someone who doesn't give a shit and be like, Khloe, you are a powerful, wealthy
for all we
woman.
know she has.
You're right.
We don't know that she hasn't. And Khloe might just be one of those friends that's like, I don't know what it is about this man, but she cannot stay away. She cannot do it.
I don't know.
And we all have had a friend like that.
You're right. You're right. When you're right, Stephanie. I don't know.
Well, I think I've been that girl, I mean, I couldn't stay away from my ex-husband. I could not stay away from him.
Yeah,
he was toxic for me. And
maybe you know what? Maybe that's why you really relate to Chloe, because you understand her plight.
But it doesn't make it right.
To a degree. I mean, you're not with him anymore, obviously.
Well, and we didn't continue to have children, and then he was having a kid with someone else and all that.
Oh my God.
At some point, if somebody hadn't slapped the shit out of me and been like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Then yeah,
seriously. I mean, at some point, you just have to stop. You know, I said this to somebody once a long time ago, and I said, everyone who loves you is telling you this is bad. Why are you not listening to them? Like, everyone you know.
We all think it's because they want to spoil your fun, but it's not about that.
If they love you and they're being honest, please take that into account.
It's true.
That's all I'm saying.
I was literally having this conversation with my boss the other day because I said, you know what? My boss and I do not get along. I've talked about it many times on the show, and he causes me so much anxiety. He has caused me anxiety in the past, and heartache and sadness and all those things. And we were actually having a conversation. I said, you know what? The people who really love me and who really care about me, and my circle is very, very small.
Super small.
So those people who I know for a fact love me and care about me and want what's best for me have been telling me that this situation between me and you has been toxic for a long time. And I just didn't want to listen because I kept thinking I could fix it. Right? And I'm like,
Stephanie, you don't like people not liking you.
I guess.
Some people don't care. Others, it's like, I don't want this out there in the universe.
That's true.
You want peace.
Peace is fine. Yeah. Like, so, right. And so I said, and I'm just like, you know, I finally am willing to accept that. Yeah. That just because I can't see it the way they see it, what I do know is that they love and care about me. Yeah. So that's enough. Yeah. That is enough for me to know that these people care about me and they're telling me, and I have to just accept that it's true.
And it sucks. And you know what? That takes maturity and experience, actually.
And vulnerability. You have to be open God. Right? You have to, So
agreed.
It was definitely a moment, and it was very freeing, I must say.
Here's a moment. The Sex and the City spinoff and Just Like That is coming out, I believe, in June, I think. Okay, so...
We're getting a lot of press, so it must be coming.
It is. We really don't know all the plot lines. What we do know is that Aiden is returning.
We know this for sure.
I mean, you know, I was in denial for a moment, but it's clearly going to be a love interest for Carrie.
Absolutely. And the Miranda, what was that? Che
is returning.
They're definitely bringing that
and there's still a couple, I believe. At least initially, there's still a couple. Yeah. The other thing that happened the other day, Candice Bergen is returning as Enid.
Oh, yay.
I am... beyond.
I love her.
I am so excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, is she still with Vogue? Like, I can't wait.
I hope so.
First of all,
Can we bring us back to our roots, please?
She's
with the
an amazing actress, and she was so good in that show. She goes,
funny.
He's a hobbit. Do you remember that when she set him up with the guy? Well, he was in Princess Bride.
Yes.
And he's on Young Sheldon now, but I can't remember the actor's name, but he's the inconceivable, that actor. Okay. So he was set up with her, Enid, in the show, and she's like, he's really nice. She goes, he's a hobbit. And then they actually ended up coupling because she's like, the dating pool's small. I have no choice. I have to be with this hobbit.
That's true. Anyway. One of my very favorite scenes with her was the scene where in the first Sex and the City, the movie, where they offer Carrie the Vogue wedding, and she's like, "Oh yeah, spare me the week of I'm thinking about it. Just say yes."
That's absolutely true.
I'm like, so true.
Just stop doing the game.
It was just very believable and super normal. I'm like, yes, seriously.
You know you're going to say yes. Can we just get past that?
So flattered.
Fast forward. Blah 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 blah.
Stop it.
Just do it. Yes. Well, anyway, you know how much I love Reddit, and there's two and Just Like That subreddits, and there's one, and somebody I wish I could give them credit, frankly, because it was such a goddamn epiphany, Stephanie. Somebody goes, "What if Carrie is Aiden's big, and he just cannot stay away from her?"
I agree with that,
and I was like, mind
no
blown.
Matter how many times she screws
Stephanie,
him over
and treats him like garbage,
he can't.
Treats him like shit, lies to him constantly, hates his dog even.
Right?
Who hates a dog? Carrie hates fucking dogs. And I'm like,
Pete? Who would hate Pete?
No one hated Pete. She lost Pete. What a dick.
She lost Pete because he had diarrhea and he chewed one of her shoes.
I will tell you this, that if somebody I was dating lost my dog, it would be curtains.
That is such a deal breaker.
It's over.
Let's not mention the fact that she cheated on him multiple times. With her ex. Why she was like still screwing them both. Lied like a bitch. Was meeting him in shitty hotels.
Made fun of his Rogaine. and all of his deodorants,
his half speed stick,
all of his speed sticks. Wanted privacy.
You know what? I don't want to give her credit for this, but I do feel like one of the times when I said, this is so many shows ago, but we got a lot of comments about my my comment because it was so relatable and so true. When I'm like, you know what? Sometimes when my husband's getting on my nerves, I'm just like, every time I come around a corner, I'm like, you are everywhere. But she literally said the same thing. Did. When she moved in, she's like, God, you know, like I just can't get away from you.
It's like, when this curtain is closed, I don't exist.
Right.
And then 5 minutes later, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, and
because she's such a
we've all been there.
I
mean,
yes, absolutely.
You know, there's someone that you absolutely love and adore, but at the same time, they get on your nerves.
So I'm just like, first of all, we will obviously learn the circumstances as to why Aiden is single. We don't know what that is. I assume a divorce.
It's either going to be a divorce or a death.
He can't be widowed. That would be dumb.
He has 3 children.
I think
so. It would be really sad if he was.
I think it's a divorce, personally.
Yeah, because being a widow isn't going to make you immediately want to like be with someone else.
No, I think divorce. He's like, well, I heard Carrie's widowed. Maybe she's down for the cause. Right. And then he shows back up in New York from wherever he's living.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it better be something good. Please don't disappoint us with that.
Oh God, I'd be so annoyed if there was
something
another
lame.
dead spouse. I'm like,
another dead spouse or something really stupid, like she decided she was a lesbian or something.
Oh my God,
some shit like that will really piss me off.
How about a regular divorce like half the people in the world do?
Yeah, what is the divorce for? It's 60-50 in the United States.
It's fine. We can just be divorced.
You're more likely to get divorced than you are to stay married,
right?
Right.
Sad.
So just go with that. Yeah.
Anyway, so somebody goes, what if Carrie is Aiden's big? And I went, oh my God, I can't believe this is the first time I'm thinking about this.
Seriously, though.
It is the fact.
It's true.
It's the case. So we'll see if this ends exactly the way we expect. There's no way he's going to be a permanent fixture. It's not possible.
Yeah. I don't know.
Possible.
Well, they've really lost I hope they figure it out, but they really have lost their way with this reboot.
I'm over, and I hope they realize we're over being spoon-fed
for sure.
Societal issues like
the rights and wrongs of the world.
Listen, the thing that bugged me about the first season was that the viewers were apparently completely oblivious to lesbianism, liberalism, non-binary.
But we weren't.
We're all quite aware. And these 3 women who are in New York still, they are the first people who should be understanding of these. They should not be like, we don't understand what's going on.
Well,
they're not 100.
No, and by the way, they've covered these issues multiple times in an appropriate manner. In the past.
Yes, that's the problem.
There's been a lot of things that that were cliche that we wouldn't endorse. Samantha being as sexual as she is and open about it, that in itself was like, oh my God.
She said she was a trisexual. She even literally said
that's true.
that there will be a time when it won't matter what sex you are.
Exactly.
You'll love the person. I'm like, this is literally the era.
And by the way, we loved Samantha. We accepted her immediately.
This is the era we're in. If Samantha had been a part of the show, she'd be like, you bitches need to get the stick out of your ass and stop being like this. What the hell? Thank you.
Well,
that's what's missing.
I hope to God that they don't dye Miranda's hair gray and make Sarah look like. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Please. And let's not pretend like women these days, we all fucking dye our hair. I don't give a shit how old you are. Young or old, most women do something to their hair because you want to feel like you, whatever that is.
Please. Who among us has not bought the L'Oreal box? We've all done it.
Seriously.
And some of us still do it if we have to.
And it's fine.
It's fine.
I've done it for 1,000 years.
I don't know what the problem is.
Yes.
I don't know why they're acting. They're so against aging on that show and what it takes to look decent. I don't agree. Get it. Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about pop culture wise that's current? I don't think so.
Not necessarily. I haven't seen anything super recent that
really quick.
My curiosity.
Not too many people will know this because you and I follow this girl. The Russian Danielle is pregnant.
Shut up! Did she announce that today?
She did.
Because I have not watched TikTok today.
I sent it to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was too busy getting ready to come do the show.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
No.
And she's showing already. So she's been pregnant for a minute.
Aww.
She looks so cute.
I'm happy for them.
She's so freaking cute. Anyway.
She is the cutest bug in the
rug.
rug.
I love her.
Bitch.
She's my biggest fan.
We love her.
I love her so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She went into a long fitness bread diatribe the other day, which I was quite into.
I'm getting you some fitness bread. So
like,
you can taste it.
She says, do not eat it raw.
No, you have to toast it.
You must toast it.
It tastes terrible.
That's what she said.
It tastes so bad.
So
it tastes like if you were a poor person back in the 1800s.
Now, you can't copy her completely.
No.
But I will say that her wedding ring set is something I could see you in.
Really? I have to look at it.
Well, it's like 10 carats.
Oh,
so it definitely would fit you when it comes to that. But it's modern, it's gorgeous, it's classy, and it's not gaudy. I mean, it is just stunning.
Did you see Sophia Richie's wedding about a month ago?
Okay, and here's the thing. Sophia Richie has rebranded herself. Mm-hmm. She has gotten a new PR team, clearly.
Yes.
And she made the transition from Scott Disick to her current. And
she is now a princess, apparently.
She is. And that's the thing. It's like her PR team, whoever she hired, brilliant.
Like, you're Grace Kelly
brilliant.
now. It's like, by the way, Sophia, Grace Kelly now. That's who you are.
She married, she's old money, and she married into old money.
Yes.
So they're like, what are you doing? Like, you don't need to do this new money, Kardashian bullshit. You're not
past
that
it.
girl. You're so past it.
I mean, did any of the Kardashians go to that wedding?
She probably banned them from that wedding.
She absolutely banned them from
it. And she should have. Those bitches.
It is a completely different
They were
vibe.
so dumb. Scott Disick was, what a fool he is. Okay, well, whatever. Bullet dodged for Sophia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Lionel Richie couldn't be fucking happier.
Oh my God, he's so pleased. He's
like, are you kidding me?
He's like, this is amazing.
She married a music mogul's son.
This is absolutely what I wanted.
So perfect.
Perfect.
So I love Sophia. I'm really into her.
Her wedding was stunning.
She's gorgeous.
The whole thing.
She's gorgeous.
I mean, I'm usually not jealous of events like that. And I'm like,
she has it all.
Stephanie, I would have developed an eating disorder to become that.
She has youth. She has wealth. She has beauty. She has clout. She has it all. That girl can do no wrong. Now, I hope that she continues. She's been doing really well. Mm-hmm. She was at the motherfucking coronation.
Yes, she
was. Hello! And she
has elevated herself.
She has. And Godspeed. I'm so happy for her.
Well, she got the right people.
She did.
And you know what?
Smart. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, there's other celebs who have, gone down a dark road and they couldn't figure out their way back, then
you hire the right person.
And she did.
She did.
So whoever either told her or she listened to or she made the decision, whatever the case may be, Godspeed to her.
On that same note, Britney is off her goddamn rocker.
Finally we can have an honest discussion
Stephanie,
about Britney.
You and I have not had an opportunity to discuss Britney.
Well, in the past you were like, look, she's going through a phase.
Well, here's the thing. I thought that she was going through a phase. And then I saw something the other day where she is clearly manic. She's in full mania, okay? Here's the deal. I don't care what anybody says. She's had mental illness her whole life,
definitely.
Obviously. Her father did this to her,
We don't judge her for the mental illness, by the way.
Her father abused her to such a degree that she is so afraid of help.
I agree.
That she would rather be mentally ill
than get what she needs.
I
agree.
I don't know what's going on with the husband. I don't know what the fuck all that is. That's all insanity.
I don't think he knows what to do.
What can he do?
I don't think there's anything he can do.
Because she's just like, here's the thing. The idea of putting her in a 5150.
No one's going to do that.
No one's going to do it. They're like, no, we can't go back. We can't go back. And I'm hearing people going, oh, no, her dad knew best. I'm like, her dad did this to her.
No, he did not.
Her father was abusive. This is not what this is.
She's like a feral animal.
She is.
But the problem is that she's a feral animal with rabies.
She
needs treatment.
The thing with people with bipolar or mania...
Whatever she has. We don't even know that she's ever been properly diagnosed.
I don't.
Because she's been diagnosed by people who had an interest.
That's right. They had a second interest.
Yeah. So what does she really have? We don't even know.
And the thing is I was reading something about this that apparently excessive drugging of lithium and things like that can cause brain
long-term
damage.
Effect. I believe it.
And so she could be clinically harmed and medically harmed, and there's nothing they can do. There's no medicine that she can do.
Yeah.
And because
she could at least get the best help she's able to get for her situation. But like you said, I think she has trust issues. Rightfully so.
it's like when you hear about those, like that one woman, I can't think of her name right now. Was it J.C. Dugar who was held captive for 20 years and had children?
Yes, she
and was living in a fucking tent in the backyard, which I can't even believe.
She was the little girl who was kidnapped from Lake Tahoe.
Like she didn't never thought to climb the fence once. Like it's so crazy.
She was terrified.
No, she was absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
But my point is that she is in seclusion.
For sure.
And her family is doing whatever they need to do. She wrote a book, but we don't even know who really wrote it.
I mean, I think she wrote the book, but I think
she told her tale.
I think she felt like, I mean, if you're in a situation like that, it's like, okay, look, I have to say something or I'm going to be hounded for the rest of my life. And however I have to write this book, if I have to have a ghostwriter.
And it made her money.
It did make her money.
And she needed it. Now
Absolutely.
And I think her mom even said, she goes, she literally rides horses all the time. That's all she does. She lives on a farm. This is her life now. And I'm like, thank God.
I wouldn't want anything more for her than to have a peaceful life where she never has to think about.
And I feel that way about Britney. I don't know what.
But what is the difference between Britney? Because Britney.
Bad family.
The family, and because Britney's money or her, the way that she sustains her life is through entertainment.
Yes.
And you have to be public when you're doing that. So her job is literally to be in the public. So I don't know if she has enough wealth, I would hope.
I don't know anymore.
That she could go away and just be done with everything.
But I don't think she wants to be.
I don't think she does either because she's angry.
A couple of weeks ago, she apparently her book that she's writing is in its final stages. And there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are terrified. Did you read that?
Yeah.
They're filing cease and desist. They're filing all of these restraining order type things. And I'm like, if it's vetted and it's accurate, you better hold the fuck
It's coming
back.
out. Yeah.
It's coming out. This girl can take it down, and I hope she does.
I hope she does too.
And then please get some fucking help.
But that's
please get some help.
The only thing is like she may have all of these explosive things to out people for, and it's probably perfectly legit. But no one's going to listen to her if she's in the current status that she is. And that's what's so sad to me.
I saw one the other day, and she was clearly in some kind of mania, and I'm like, you see these people on the street.
Well, now she shut off the comments for the most part.
She turned on comments the other day.
She did turn them on. I saw that.
For a minute.
But I don't know. Most of her videos in the last few weeks have been non-commented.
Yes, thank God. But it's like, you see her behavior. You see that on the street.
Yeah.
You literally see that on the street. So like, what can anyone do? Everybody feels so helpless.
Yeah.
And it's hard because a lot of people are like, oh, she's like Anna Nicole. I'm like, no, she's not. She's not a drug addict.
That's the only thing that was wrong with Anna Nicole.
In fact, I wish she was. She'd probably be more down. Like anything.
It's not drugs. I mean,
no, it's mental illness.
Yeah, and there was an article that came out too. I'm sure her staff has leaked it. That she's absolutely obsessed with Red Bull and energy drinks and anything that fuels that
mania.
Because she's not taking extracurricular drugs.
I don't think she was ever into drugs, to be frank.
She was, but it wasn't like she wasn't a full-blown drug addict as I see it, and I've known drug addicts. I think she did it recreationally. I think
like everybody does.
Yeah, I think it was whoever she was in the company with, if they were doing it, she would do it, but it was never really her thing.
Doesn't this whole thing kind of take a weird flex now when you think about her original husband, that Jason guy, trying to bust down and get into the wedding? Don't you wonder now who's the bad guy?
Well, I think he's still a bad guy.
Well, he's just a local yokel.
I just think, right. Well, I mean, and we've always said that about Britney. It's one of the things we love about her is that as rich and powerful as she is, she's so normal.
She's very down to earth. She says she's pretty nerdy.
Yeah, she's nerdy. She's Southern. She was not raised with money.
I don't know. Like, I know she has a really good attorney. So, like, what's happening with that? Like,
well, if she doesn't listen to, if she won't listen to anyone, then she won't listen to anyone.
That's true. It's true.
There's nothing you can do.
Man. It's
We've seen other celebs do this before, and I don't know what it is about Britney that we love her and we want the best for her so badly.
Because we know she was victimized, and as women, we know what she's been through.
Yeah. She's been so taken advantage of. So, Britney, please, we love you, girl. Get better.
Please.
Listen to someone. There's someone you can trust.
There's got to be somebody.
Yeah.
Not her family. If this does not show you how important family is, I don't know what is.
God.
Good family. I mean, you have to choose your family if you have to. Okay.
Sometimes we have to.
Speaking of family, I came across this thing the other day about sibling horror stories.
Oh, no.
How we torture each other as children, young children or adults. Now, you and I did not torture each other as adults, thank God.
No, not as adults.
It would have been rough.
No.
But as kids, we did all kinds of crazy shit. you know, we did the usual things like, oh, you're adopted, you know, stuff like that.
Well, we talked about that on the last show that we actually recorded with
There was a couple others that I remembered, and I don't know if you'll remember these. Maybe you can fill in some of the blanks.
I usually remember when you tell me.
Do you remember? You were so mean. Okay, do you remember when we told Allison to try something? We thought it was chocolate milk, and it was actually like a White Russian. And
I kind of remember that now.
So we made her take a drink of it. And
did we make it?
No. It was like our parents used to have parties, and we had one. We gave it to her, and she made this screech like an eagle. We made her drink it. We're like, drink it, it's good. And she's all, and I remember looking at her going, that's the weirdest face I've ever seen in my life. And we're laughing at her. What were we thinking?
I don't know, because we loved to torture. And
I just said,
I hate torture. So mean. I don't know.
It wasn't.
You know what? Dad is so incredibly diabolical. There's part of me that thinks it's inherited.
Do you remember when we pinned Paula down and made the dog eat bologna
all the time? And turkey, anything.
And roast beef?
Yes. I was just literally telling a friend about it the other day. Like, that's fucking weird. Like,
did they think it was weird?
Not weird and like, but funny weird. But yes, because he had a sibling too. So we were talking about like things we had done to each other as siblings.
He didn't make the
well,
dog
he had some funny things too, because like one of them was a cousin that was sound asleep on the couch who had dozed off on an afternoon of watching football, and they got right in his face and they were like, ah! Like it screamed an inch from his face. And if you can imagine being woken up from a dead sleep, I'm like, I would do that.
Oh yeah,
I would 100%. If that was something I would have done had I thought of it. But yeah, so yes, all siblings apparently do things that are pretty horrendous.
Do you remember how you used to make everyone smell your fingers?
I do. Allison primarily.
So many times.
God, because she fell for it every time.
Why?
It could have been the 10th time of smelling a butthole and she would still smell it.
Because I smell my fingers. I'm like, in a million years, never. I looked at you like, absolutely not.
Like, no, because the last time you did it, you said it was something and it would smell like a butt. I'm like, I promise this time. And I would so convince her.
And she believed
me. I told her I made my own perfume.
Oh, Stephanie.
And she believed me.
She's like, okay, I'll smell it again.
She did it.
You're like, it doesn't smell good. I'm like, well, it's because it's my butthole.
Poor Allison.
Every time.
And I didn't just give her a waft. I mean, it was like I dug my ass.
It in there.
Yeah,
God.
Smell it.
I can't believe you used to do that. It's so
gross.
not you.
And people who know me now would be like, what?
Did your child know that you did this?
No.
I'm going to tell him.
Oh, God.
Do you remember
He would
when
probably think it was funny.
You used to take my yearbooks and you would find, in your opinion, the ugliest person in the yearbook, and then you would write an entry. And you'd be like, "Do you look at your face? You totally remember doing this."
No, I vaguely. But what did I write?
I'd be like, "Jamie, it was so great having you in class. I loved you, and you're so pretty, and I think that we should go out or whatever." And I'd be like, "Who is this?" And you'd write the full name,
of course.
And I believed it for like.
I would do it behind your back.
Yes, and then I would go and I'd look it up, and I'd be like, "Fraud Jenkins, I don't know who this is." This.
I love that.
You did that every year. You did it every year.
That's hilarious.
You're like, I'm gonna find the ugliest person I can find in the yearbook.
You know what? And I remember those people because nowadays I look them up and we're all friends on Facebook with them. I'm like, okay, Jamie Jolly has 67 friends from Casa Roble. We all hated him.
That's hilarious.
We made fun of him.
And now he's friends with everyone.
And now everybody's like, we love you, Jamie Jolly.
Remember when I punched you in the face and threw you in the garbage can? Ha ha ha, good times.
Totally.
It's like, yes, well, I guess I could cross you off my hit list.
Oh my God, yes.
Anyway, I was thinking about it, and I remember I fell for that twice. You did it every year, though. And then finally I started to realize, I'm like, okay, this is Stephanie's doing
it. Oh, my God.
But I fell for it twice. In fact, I am not kidding you. The very first time you did it, I absolutely approached this person. And I'm like, you signed my yearbook? How did I get your yearbook?
Oh, God.
How did you get my yearbook? They're like, what?
I don't even know you.
It's like, why are you over here under the rocks with us? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. You signed my yearbook.
You know we all hate you, right? You're one of those cheerleaders, aren't you?
You are a bitch.
We've been plotting your death for 3 years.
Please come into our cave.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So true.
No. So it made me think of that because I found a couple and I'm like,
you know what I wouldn't give for an iPhone or a camera phone when we were growing up?
Stephanie.
Jamie, we'd be rich. We could sell that shit. We'd have so many sitcoms.
Oh my God. So many.
I wish, because there's just, the unfortunate thing of child trauma is you forget shit.
I know.
Like, and you don't. And I'm so grateful
everything.
for that. You do. But I have literally forgotten everything. So when you tell me something, I'm so great. You have no idea how grateful I am for those memories.
I will say
because
this.
I don't have them.
You were in Mexico when we had this discussion. Daryl and I had this discussion about a sitcom that I want to do. I'm going to repeat it because it's funny as fuck. And we can
Would it be animated or not?
I don't know, but we can incorporate it into we can add our childhood memories to this whole thing.
The good ones.
So basically, I had a nightmare about Daryl having a stroke.
Oh,
and it was really horrible. It was horrible. But in the dream, even I said, you know what? I know I told you I would never take care of you if you become invalid. I lied. I'll take care of you. And then dream, I'm telling him this. And so then I said, but wouldn't it be hilarious if there was a show about a woman like me who had a stroke? Because I always said, Daryl's going to have to be the one that has health issues, not me, because there's no way he can care for me the way I'm going to want to be cared for.
Right.
And so I know I can give him 5-star care, but he can't give me the luxury care that I want. There's no way. But I said, but wouldn't it be hilarious if a woman like me actually ended up having a stroke? And the show's called Strokey, but because it's her last name.
Oh, so funny.
But it's her last name.
Right.
And so he's like,
good.
Yeah. I go, but she's like, it's fine. Whatever. Fine. It's fine. Constantly. And, going on about having a stroke, but still not getting the care she wants constantly.
Right.
But we could incorporate insane
relatives,
so memory, backstories.
Oh, that's funny.
All the things. And I said, and I did say animated, actually. I thought animated would be the best way to go.
For sure.
And then, people could feel sorry for her, so they could do GoFundMes, and then she has to wear a jersey that says Strokey on it. But her arm's all fucked up because she's got a stroke, stuff like that. Anyway, I thought it would be really
good
funny.
idea. Is anybody listening that's like in the film industry?
Well, they're all on strike right now.
Yeah, I know.
And they should be, by the way. They need to get their
Padma Lakshmi was passing out things the other day.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Sibling horror stories. Here's a couple. In 3rd grade, my sister emptied my lunchbox with human food and filled it with dog food.
Oh,
and I didn't know until lunchtime in the cafeteria.
Oh, awesome.
I feel like that happened.
That's great.
I feel like I was triggered into a memory thinking that we did that.
No, I think you always think about the time when Paula was eating dog food in the
the
garage.
the Alamo food.
And Mom was blaming us.
No, she ate it. We didn't make her
like
do
she
it.
wanted it. What was I supposed to do? Stop her?
I remember one time I was in that same garage. I was skating around in my skates, my metal skates, because I couldn't get the white leather skates that I wanted, and I had a fucking bead in my mouth, and I tripped and I swallowed it, and I thought I was gonna die. And I'm like, I swallowed a bead, and she's like, well, it'll come out in the poop. Don't worry.
Remember the same garage that I was riding my white Schwinn bicycle, and I fell because it was so slippery in there.
It was slippy.
My bottom teeth went through my chin.
I do remember that.
And I looked like a freaking freak.
I do remember.
I was so humiliated. I don't remember.
Nobody got stitches back in the day.
I'm pretty sure they just pulled and
they just pulled the teeth out and they said, shake it off.
Yeah, kind of.
That's kind of how it went.
Pretty much.
You don't even have a scar.
I have a scar, but that's from getting bit by a German Shepherd.
Oh, I thought that was on your nose.
No, it's right. Unless it migrated down and
anything's
there's
possible.
There's a scar on my chin, and I always thought it was from that.
Well, what about the time that I got hit with a 2x4 in Dad's shop and I should have had stitches?
What about the time Paula fell on a 50-gallon barrel of oil?
I fell into it
from being lifted up on a floor jack when she was like 2.
We did that.
I stapled my thumb to the desk.
I do remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We survived.
We survived.
Okay. My family was staying at a hotel on a road trip, and my sister and I went to the pool, which is typically the highlight of our stay. This pool, however, was extremely cold, but we were determined to have fun, so we got in. Unbeknownst to me, my sister peed in the pool and convinced me she had found a warm spot.
Oh, God.
I stuck my face in the warm spot and stood in her pee for a good 10 minutes.
God, you little brat.
How can you not see the yellow? You can see it.
Yeah, I don't know. That might have been an exaggerated story, but I get
10 minutes is exaggerated because it wouldn't have been warm for 10 minutes.
It lasts for like 10 seconds.
It's like just a moment.
We've all done
but
it.
She probably put her face in it for sure.
That for sure happened. Yeah.
My sister said, I'll give you $13 to stop being my sister.
That's all the money she had.
I'll give you everything. That's mean. My brother knocked down a wasp's nest and pushed me down as the sacrifice to give him a chance to run.
Oh my God.
That's awful. But you know what? I kind of get it.
I get it too. You know, it's funny. I don't know how pools are these days, but when we were growing up, it was quite the luxury to have a built-in pool.
Oh, yes.
Like, we didn't know we were rich when we were young.
No.
We didn't. And
No, we didn't.
Before our parents got divorced, because we talk about being poor, and like everyone's like, wait, what? I thought you were poor. We were poor, but when our parents were married, we were not.
We were doing good.
And so we had this built-in pool, and it did have the ability to heat. But Dad was always like, "Oh God, it's so expensive," you know, because
I can't imagine how expensive it must have been.
imagine heating a full-size pool
all the time.
Yeah,
Just so his daughters won't be cold.
but we live in California too, so for the most part, the pool would come.
It does warm itself
Yes,
eventually.
it does, because it's 105 and shit.
Yes,
But
and we had a black bottom pool.
we did.
So it got warmer faster.
Very, very innovative back then.
Super smart.
Nobody had a black pool.
Nope, we were the only ones.
Yeah, and so, but I do remember that little teeny little hole that would come out the wall of the pool below the water line that had warm water that would spout out.
We'd stand.
It was like a drizzle. I mean, it barely,
hardly anything, but we would stand in front of it,
and we would like put our backs against it. We're like, while we were freezing our asses off.
or we'd get in the spa and then jump in really quick, just to hopefully.
When Dad
be
heated
warm.
the spa, because of course the spa was expensive.
Oh my God! And then it would get too hot anyway. Oh, the problems, the champagne problems.
I know, right?
Young spoiled children.
But I do remember doing that.
Okay, so I have an awkward moment.
Oh, okay.
I must share this with you, and then we can call it a day. Do you have an awkward moment, do you think?
I do have an awkward moment, but it wasn't like something I necessarily did awkward, but it was an epiphany I had.
Please tell me.
So I was in a meeting the other day, and a gentleman that I'm very good friends with, but he's also a work colleague. We were talking about, I've thought about getting other jobs, and like, what would you do if you could have another job, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I thought about, because I am in government work, I thought about doing like 911 dispatch, because it's not a stretch from what I do.
Sure.
But it's completely different, and it would be to me, it would be exciting and fun. And he was like, his reaction to me saying that was so natural and unplanned that it was jarring.
Tell me.
Because he's like, I can just see you doing that job. Sir, are you really bleeding? Are you bleeding that bad? Can't you get a towel or something and just put it on the wound?
Do you really need a paramedic?
Yes. And so he proceeded to mock me for like 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
And it became to the point where I was like, enough. Not funny anymore.
Enough.
I'm like, am I really that? I'm not a bitch.
I'm not a bitch.
And I was like, my God, this is how people see me. So I felt very awkward. And
oh no.
I tried not to, it wasn't like a hurting feelings thing.
No, but
it was like, hey, I'm actually really good at my job. I'm like, you would be shocked that I can be nice.
I would never do. I've thought about the 911 thing because they're constantly looking, because the burnout rate's pretty high. And I'm
you have to work nights and weekends.
You do have to work
holidays.
nights and weekends. And it's very high stress, actually.
It is.
And the adrenaline and all the things.
For sure.
I would have anxiety all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I personally could do it, because if somebody's calling and they're getting hurt, or
whatever the case may be,
I would be like, oh my God.
It's literally trauma every call.
And they have to be really you have to be the calming voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. A couple of weeks ago, Daryl and I went to Healdsburg, which is a part of Napa Valley. It's kind of deep in, though. It's like really more coastal, actually. 30 minutes away from Bodega Bay, basically.
Right.
Up on the north coast. Anyway, Daryl rented a Jag sports car for the weekend. Kind of my birthday present.
Okay.
We got to rent this sports car.
Well, okay.
Because he really wants me to get a new car.
I was about to say, we talked about you getting a new car, and the last time we discussed it, you said you guys were considering a new Jaguar.
I think they're beautiful cars.
They are.
So he rented it. I got to drive it all weekend. He got to drive it.
What a brat. Why would he do that to you? He's like, see?
Because I'm so reluctant to.
I know, you're just like me.
To get one. I don't want a new. Anyway, so it was amazing. So that was so fun. So he goes, hey, since your sister and you aren't going to record after all, let's go to the coast. And I said, okay. Because that's why I reached out to you that morning. I said, hey, are you going to come? And you're like, no.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, no, I hadn't planned it. I'm like, okay. And I said, no, we can go. So we went to Bodega Bay, which You can Google it and see where it's at. They have a head where you can go up at the very, very top, and you can
beautiful.
You can do whale watching. You can see the entire
People
ocean.
have killed their wives up there, but
they have killed. And trust me, Stephanie, I can see how. And why.
Absolutely, me too. I can't barely do that. It's so incredibly gorgeous.
It's stunning.
If you live in this part of the state, then it's something that you do.
I will say this though,
it does give you those weird.
It gives you weird vibes because there's energy up there.
There's energy,
people
and
have died up there.
It's so open and so easy.
So we pull in, and I go, "Hey, let's kind of detox from the weekend." My tongue was pickled from all the wine tasting. I was like, I can't think of one more alcohol like
that I even want at this point.
I just couldn't. And so we went on the trail hike, and it was really, really nice. So we're at the very end. We're in front of the vehicle. We're 3 feet away from the car. And the path goes left and right, and in the middle is like a bouldery thing. And he goes, "Oh, well, let's just go right. It's literally like step down and and the car is there." And I go, "I don't know. It looks pretty arduous." And he goes, "No. No, it'll be fine." So I, like a fool, not listening to my gut, follow him. Immediately slip and fall. And not only did I just kind of fall, I fell on like my side and everything. And
hurt yourself.
There's a cute girl getting ready to start the hike.
And she's like, "Ma'am, are you okay?"
No, ma'am, thank God. But I told you this was arduous, really loud. So on top of me falling
and being obvious,
tell everyone that
now it has to announce it.
Now it's a scene.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Leave me alone. Just let me get in the car." And I start laughing.
Because that's what we always do.
Oh my God. I'm like, "I'm fine.
Well,
okay."
it's like, oh, this is so funny because it's not funny.
I got in the car and I'm like, "Ow."
Oh my God. It's like, take me home immediately.
I even scraped my fingers. How did I do that? Like, how did I even hurt my fingertips?
Because
so dumb. All right. Well, I think that's the show for the week.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, everyone. And we will be back with a new show soon.
Memorial weekend.
Bye.